year on our anniversary, my wife Clara gives me the same book. Always the same cover, the same weight, the same familiar scent of fresh print and untouched pages. It's a modest hardcover with a deep forest green jacket, embossed with gold lettering. The title, simply, The Quiet Places of the Heart. At first, when she gave it to me on our first anniversary, I thought it was sweet. She had always been the sentimental one, the one who found poetry in the most ordinary things. She handed me the book with that soft smile she reserved only for special moments, her eyes sparkling like she held a secret just for herself. I didn't open it that day, not because I didn't want to, but because life kept us moving. We went to dinner, then spent the night walking under the city lights, talking about dreams we hadn't dared to say aloud before. The book sat on my nightstand, then moved to the shelf, nestled between other gifts, souvenirs, and the clutter of everyday life. On our second anniversary, when she gave me the same book again, I chuckled and asked, "You know you gave me this last year, right?" She smiled, that same knowing smile, and said, "I know. It's for you to read when the time is right." I didn't push further. That was Clara, mysterious, quietly mischievous, always playing a longer game of meaning that I never quite caught up with. She was the heart in our home, while I was the routine, the habit, the comfortable predictability. By the third and fourth anniversaries, the ritual had formed. She would gift me the same book, wrapped in brown paper, tied with twine, and I would pretend to be surprised. We laughed, kissed, danced in the kitchen like we always did, and the book joined its predecessors on the shelf. I never opened a single one. Maybe part of me thought there was a joke inside, or maybe it was my stubbornness, thinking I'd wait her out, see how long she would keep this up. I never asked her why. Life has a way of distracting you with things that seem more urgent but are never truly important. As the years passed, the ritual never changed. 5 years in, I started noticing the tenderness in her eyes when she handed me the gift. Sometimes, I caught her watching me, as if waiting for me to finally open it. And yet, I never did. It became a dance between us, a silent agreement not to break the illusion. The shelf grew crowded with these identical books, all unopened, yet each a quiet testament to the years we had shared. Then came our 10th anniversary, a decade of shared mornings, quiet evenings, arguments over silly things, apologies whispered into hair and shoulders, promises made and broken and made again. This time, she wasn't here to give me the book. Clara passed away 6 months ago. Cancer. The word still feels foreign on my tongue, as if saying it out loud might make it more real than I want it to be. She fought quietly, bravely, and when she couldn't fight anymore, she just held my hand and said, "Remember the quiet places, love. That's where I'll be." I almost forgot about the book this year, until our anniversary morning, when I found a package on the porch. Brown paper, tied with twine. No sender name, but I knew. She had planned for this. She always planned for everything. I stood there with the package in my hands, heart pounding, feeling the weight of it. Not just of the book, but of the years I had let it sit unopened. I brought it inside, sat at our kitchen table, the morning sun streaming through the window just like Clara loved. I didn't unwrap it right away. I just stared at it, remembering all the times I brushed it off, all the moments she might have wanted me to ask, to open, to discover. And now she was gone. I was alone with the weight of 10 unread gifts. I untied the twine slowly, unwrapped the brown paper with care, as if touching something sacred. The green cover, the gold lettering, all the same. But this time, when I opened it, the first page wasn't just a blank leaf like before. There was handwriting. Her handwriting, neat, looping, soft. For when you need me the most. Page 47. My fingers trembled as I turned the pages, counting them carefully, afraid I might miss something if I rushed. Page 47 held a photograph tucked neatly between the pages. It was a picture of us, taken years ago on a hiking trail I barely remembered. She was laughing, head thrown back, eyes squinting in the sunlight. I was beside her, holding her hand, looking at her the way you look at something you can't believe is yours. On the back of the photo, more of her writing. "This was the first time I knew I loved you. You complained the whole hike. but you never let go of my hand. I sat there, tears threatening to spill, my thumb brushing the photo as if I could feel her laughter vibrating through it. Beneath the photo, more writing on the page itself. If you're reading this, it means I'm not there to remind you that love isn't always loud. Sometimes it's the quiet persistence, the hand that never lets go, even when it's tired. I turned the page. More writing. Page 103. And so I turned to page 103, where another photo waited. This time it was a picture of our kitchen, the one I was sitting in now. She was cooking, her back turned to the camera, but I remembered the moment. I had taken that picture without her knowing, amused by how seriously she approached her cooking experiments. On the back, "This was your birthday. I burned the pie, remember? But you ate it anyway. You said it was perfect. That's when I knew I was safe with you." The ache in my chest grew, a slow, tender pulse of missing her. Beneath the photo, page 158. Each page led to another, a breadcrumb trail of our life together. Photos, notes, memories frozen in ink and paper. The way she captured moments I had forgotten. The quiet ways she loved me without needing grand gestures. On the final page she marked, page 305, there was a letter. A full page, her handwriting steady, as if she wrote it knowing it might be the last thing I would ever read from her. "My love, if you've made it here, then you finally opened the gift. I always knew you would when you were ready. Don't be sad for what we didn't say. You showed me love every day, even when you didn't see it yourself. In the way you made my tea just right, how you always kissed me twice before leaving for work, how you let me hog the blankets even when you pretended to be mad." This book was never about reading. It was about remembering, about holding on to the quiet places where love lives. I needed you to have this when I couldn't remind you myself. So whenever you miss me, go to our quiet places, the kitchen, the garden, the old bookstore where we met. I'll be there, in the quiet, waiting. Happy anniversary, love. Thank you for holding my hand, even when the hike was long. Forever yours, Clara. I didn't realize I was crying until the ink on the letter blurred slightly where a tear had dropped. I held the book to my chest, feeling the echo of her heartbeat where mine was faltering. She had known. She had prepared this for me, a map of us, a trail through grief lit by memories. That evening, I sat in the garden where she used to plant wildflowers. I brought the book with me, flipping through pages, reading her notes, seeing our life through her eyes. The garden was quiet, the air gentle and cool, and for the first time since she passed, I didn't feel entirely alone. Every year she gave me the same book, and every year I ignored it, thinking there would always be time. But love lives in the pages we forget to turn, in the quiet places we take for granted. I see that now. Next year, on our anniversary, I think I'll read the book again. Not because I missed it before, but because in every quiet place it takes me to, I find her again. And I remember the hand that never let go. As the days passed, I began visiting those quiet places she mentioned. The garden, where the wildflowers now grew untamed yet vibrant, each bloom a symbol of her resilience and joy. The old bookstore where we first met, its familiar scent of parchment and coffee welcoming me like an old friend. I sat in the corner we once shared, listening to the gentle hum of pages turning around me, feeling her presence in the quiet. At night, I returned to the book, discovering pages I had skipped, little scribbles in the margins, short sentences that captured fleeting thoughts she must have had. "Remember when we danced in the rain?" One margin note read, and I could almost hear the patter of raindrops on our rooftop, her laughter echoing in my memory. Clara had left me a treasure map of our life together, each note a gentle reminder that even in her absence, I was not alone. She had built a world of memories for me to walk through whenever grief threatened to close in. I started writing in the book too, little responses in the margins, as if we were still having a conversation across time. I remember, love, I still dance in the rain sometimes. I wrote, feeling both the ache and the comfort of those words. The following anniversary, I didn't wait for the morning to read the book. I opened it at midnight, reading each note, each photograph, as if turning pages of a living scrapbook. I felt her with me in those moments, as real as the wind that brushed against the curtains. Eventually, I began sharing the story of the book with close friends and family. They came to know Clara not just through my memories, but through her own words captured on those pages. They cried with me, laughed with me, and slowly, the grief became less of a shadow and more of a companion, a reminder that love, when genuine, doesn't end, transforms, finds new ways to show up. In time, the book became a symbol of hope, of love that transcends loss. I made a habit of writing letters back to Clara within its pages, adding photographs of my own, places I visited, moments I wished she had seen. In every quiet place I ventured, I carried her with me. And so the tradition continued, not with unopened books, but with a living testament of a love story that, though interrupted by death, was never truly over. It lives in every page turned, every memory recalled, every quiet place I find myself whispering, I remember, and I still hold your hand.